Top 20 national team favorites for World Cup 2026. 20th place. The biggest star of this national team spent most of his European career in England and won the Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup and the League Cup there. In 2002, this team made its World Cup debut and beat the reigning world champions in the opening match. Even more symbolic, almost all players from that squad played professionally in the country they defeated. This team won the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time in its history in 2021. The country is located on the west coast of Africa. Senegal. 19th place. The captain of this team became the all-time top scorer for his national side and scored all of his country's goals at the 2022 World Cup. At the 2022 World Cup, this team opened the tournament against the hosts and won 2-0. The hosts became the first nation in World Cup history to lose the opening match of a home tournament. This South American country is named after the imaginary line that divides the Earth into the northern and southern hemispheres. Ecuador. 18th place. From 1994 to 2018, this team reached the knockout stage at 7 World Cups in a row, but was eliminated immediately every time. For fans, it became almost a curse. The team just cannot reach the 5th game. At the 1986 World Cup, held in this country, Maradona scored the 2 most famous goals in football history, the Hand of God and the Goal of the Century, in the same match. The opening match of the 2026 World Cup is this country against South Africa on June 11th. It is one of the 3 host nations. Mexico. 17th place. The left back of this team was born in Ghana, grew up in a refugee camp, received citizenship in a new country and signed for one of Europe's biggest clubs at just 16. In its entire World Cup history, this team has still never won a match. The 2026 World Cup on home soil is its chance to rewrite history. One of the 3 host nations of the 2026 World Cup. This country has 2 official languages, English and French. Canada. 16th place. The star of this team moved to Europe at 16. His family roots could have allowed him to choose another national team, but he stayed with the country of his birth. This team's best World Cup result is a semi-final appearance at the very first tournament in 1930. Since then, it has never reached the semi-finals again. One of the 3 host nations of the 2026 World Cup. The final will be played on July 19th at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. United States. 15th place. One of this team's brightest players plays in Spain. His path to Europe was difficult. For a long time, many clubs doubted that a player from his country could establish himself at the top level. At the 2022 World Cup, this team won a group containing 2 former world champions. In both matches against them, it was losing at halftime but turned the game around in the second half. Fans from this country clean up the stands after matches, a tradition that has gone viral at recent World Cups. Japan. 14th place. The captain of this team was born and raised in Madrid. Another country tried to bring him into its system, but he chose his parents' homeland, and later scored the decisive penalty against that very team at the World Cup. At the 2022 World Cup, this team became the first African side in history to reach a World Cup semi-final. The country is located in North Africa. The team's nickname is connected with the Atlas Lions. Morocco. 13th place. A defender from this team was murdered just days after the 1994 World Cup following an own goal against the United States. The tragedy became one of the darkest chapters in football history. At the 2014 World Cup, a midfielder from this team scored one of the most beautiful goals of the tournament, controlling the ball with his chest and volleying it in. The goal later won the Puskás Award, and the player became the tournament's top scorer. This South American team is known for its yellow kit, joyful dance celebrations and one of the most passionate fan bases in the world. Colombia. 12th place. In 1950, this country beat the tournament hosts in the decisive World Cup match at their own home stadium. For the opponent, the defeat became a national trauma, and the event received its own special name. A striker from this team was sent off at the 2010 World Cup for a deliberate handball in the final minute of a quarterfinal. He stopped a certain goal, then celebrated on the sideline when the opponent missed the penalty. This small country of around 3.5 million people won the first World Cup in history, in 1930. Uruguay. 11th place. The captain of this team played 3 straight knockout matches with extra time at the 2018 World Cup and was one of the team's main heroes each time. After losing the final, he received the tournament's golden ball. At the 2022 World Cup, this team reached the medals again. In the third-place match, it beat the team that had become the first African side ever to reach a World Cup semi-final. This team's red and white checkered kit is one of the most recognizable in world football. Croatia. 10th place. In the 1970s, this team became the symbol of total football, a system where players constantly switched positions. They did not win that World Cup, but they changed football forever. This team has reached the World Cup final 3 times, in 1974, 1978 and 2010, and lost all 3. This team plays in bright orange, even though the country's flag has completely different colors. Netherlands. 9th place. At the 2014 World Cup, this team crushed the tournament hosts 7-1 in the semi-final. The score became a cultural shock for an entire country and one of the most famous results in football history. This team has reached the World Cup final 8 times, more than any other European team. 4-time world champions, 1954, 1974, 1990 and 2014. Germany. 8th place. In 1966, a player from this team became the breakout star of the World Cup. He scored 9 goals, finished as the tournament's top scorer and led his country to its best World Cup result at the time. In the Euro 2016 final, this team's leader was injured in the first half, but stayed on the touchline, crying, shouting and giving instructions to his teammates. The team still won its first major trophy. The man who has scored more goals for a national team than anyone in men's football history plays for this side. Portugal. 7th place. As a child, the captain of this team needed expensive hormone treatment. A Spanish club agreed to pay for it, and his first agreement with the club was signed on a paper napkin. In the 2022 World Cup final, this team's captain scored twice. The match ended 3-3 after 120 minutes and was decided by a penalty shootout. Maradona and Messi both played for this national team, 2 players most often named among the greatest in football history. Argentina. 6th place. For the 2026 World Cup, this team is coached by an Italian, an extremely rare case for a country that has almost always trusted its own coaches for decades. His appointment caused huge debate among fans and experts. In 1950, this country hosted the World Cup and lost the decisive match at its home stadium in front of nearly 200,000 fans. The defeat became a national trauma. This country has won the World Cup 5 times, more than any other nation in history. Brazil. 5th place. The captain of this team is its all-time top scorer. He scores regularly for both club and country, but still has not won a major trophy with the national team. This team won the World Cup once, at home in 1966. One of the goals in the final is still debated. Did the ball cross the line or not? Fans of this team have been singing, "It's Coming Home," at almost every major tournament for many years. England. 4th place. At the 2018 World Cup, this team was losing 0-2 to an Asian opponent in the round of 16, but scored 3 times, including the winner in stoppage time. The all-time top scorer of this team has roots in Central Africa. His family lived very modestly when he was a child, and he later became one of the most prolific strikers of his generation. This team has never won the World Cup. Its best result is 3rd place at the 2018 World Cup. Belgium. 3rd place. The main striker of this team is the son of a former national team player. His father played at the 1998 World Cup and later ended his career after a brutal incident in English football that became part of football mythology. This team has been absent from the World Cup for a long time. At its previous World Cup, it beat the reigning champions in the group stage by scoring twice in the final minutes. One of the most prolific strikers in modern football, a Manchester City star, plays for this Scandinavian national team. Norway. 2nd place. In the 21st century, this team suffered one of the strangest collapses in World Cup history. It arrived as the reigning world champion, failed to win a single match and did not score a single goal. In the 2022 World Cup final, this team was losing 0-2, equalized, then equalized again in the 118th minute, but still lost on penalties. 2-time world champions, 1998 and 2018. One of the main favorites for the 2026 World Cup. France. Subscribe and don't miss new exciting videos. 1st place. The young winger of this team became one of the biggest revelations in world football before even turning 18. At Euro 2024, he scored in the semi-final and provided an assist in the final. At the 2010 World Cup, this team won the tournament while scoring only 8 goals, the fewest by any world champion in history. The only goal of the final came in the 116th minute. This team won Euro 2024 without losing a single match and is now among the main favorites for the 2026 World Cup. Spain. Write your score in the comments. Let's see who wins.